Hey guys, in this top 100 habits video we are going to talk about a habit from the work-life category, and that is to work most of the time on just 90% work pace. And as usual we will go through the same format where we talk about what is the habit, why I think it's important, when to do it, and how I do it. With that out of the way, let's get started. So we already know what the habit is. That is to work most of the time during your workday at just 90% work pace. And now let's talk about why I think it's important. I've actually spent, I think, around 15 years trying to learn this, and I've gotten better at it. Okay, so it is possible. Actually, you can probably do it faster if you pay enough attention to it. But let's talk about why it's important now. So I think the number one reason to work at 90% and not 100 is that it drastically improves your life quality. Remember, if you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, then that's a significant portion of your life, right? And why not try to make that portion as enjoyable as possible? And the reason I think it improves your life quality, by the way, is of course that the feeling of well-being, if you're like super stressed and just pushing to work at 100%, 100%, like really pushing yourself, that is not enjoyable and is very stressful. It feels completely different if you lower the pace to a comfortable work pace where you feel like you're in charge of the pace and there's not that feeling of constant pressure on yourself. So yeah, that's pretty obvious to me. Let me know if you think something different in the comments. So that's the why. Another reason why is it's actually a lot healthier. You know, if you're really stressed out and pushing yourself 100% all the time, you have high cortisol levels. And actually a lot of diseases that you can develop in life are stress related or related to a lack of sleep, which is also a kind of a stressor. So remember to also sleep enough, of course. There's even another reason why working at 90% can be a benefit, and that is that in your long-term career, and even on the short term, like on a daily basis, you will, by working at 90%, have less of a burnout during the last part of the day. And this could also be transferred maybe to a large scale of your whole lifespan, that by working at 90%, if you learn to do this in, let's say, the first couple of decades of your career, you will maybe avoid a burnout in the last 2 decades of your career, or the last decade, or whatever, how long you want your career to be. You get the point, right? Like, that's actually what I'm trying to do with this whole Top 100 Habits project, is to provide a platform where people can learn all these habits and completely avoid stuff like burnout or basically improve their life quality. There's many whys in many of these habits, okay? Many reasons why. So now let's talk about when, okay? Since this is the work-life category, of course it's primarily related to your work life, and when you're at work at all times, pay attention to your work pace and the amount of like pressure and intensity you put into your work pace, okay? But also it's also important actually when you're not at work. For example, in the morning, think about how much better it feels if you get up, for example, 20 minutes earlier. If you have a really busy morning routine and you're just rushing through it, think about how much nicer it would be if you got up 20 minutes earlier and then had a relaxing morning where you didn't have to rush through it, right? It's a huge difference. And that's also the kind of difference you should feel during your workday by just turning it down a notch with the work intensity. People can see the difference, by the way. If you're working at 100% and if you're working at 90%, you're still getting the same stuff done pretty much, right? But the feeling and the effect of how it feels inside of you is very different. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're also feeling busy outside of work, and if you're also feeling that you have a habit of constantly pushing 100% work pace, then consider slowing down also your work pace in your normal life outside of work, okay? That was the when. Now let's talk about how I do it. You've probably heard about the very popular term called mindfulness. Basically, it just means paying attention to your mind state, in this case especially. So just pay attention to your level of intensity. And it's actually like a basic life skill, practicing to observe your own thoughts and also practicing to observe your own mind state. And if you never thought about this before, or if it's new to you to hear anything about all this mindfulness stuff and paying attention to your own thoughts and mind state, then there is an exercise you can do, which is called meditation. And that's, in its most simple form, is an exercise where I recommend you just sit down for 1 minute in the morning and then try to see if you can constantly pay attention to your breathing in and out for 1 minute. And then every time you have a thought pop up in your mind, which does happen, it's the nature of the mind, by the way, then bring your attention back to your breathing. And you could, for example, say the words in to yourself, like without speaking them out loud, but just when you breathe in, say in, and when you breathe out, say out, like inside of your head, basically. And that way you're actually practicing to pay attention to what's going on inside of your mind. And that's a very basic mindful practice, okay? They also use some of these techniques in the military and on very big corporations that care about their staff and work efficiency and productivity. They do these exercises, different meditation exercises as well, okay? I think that was enough about how to work at 90%. If you want to learn more about stress reduction techniques, by the way, there's a link to an online course in the description below that is my top 30 stress reduction tools. So it's like an online course that's available. Check that out if you want. If not, make sure you subscribe to get all the top 100 habits and give it a like if you like the video. See you on the next one. If you want to learn more tools and techniques and habits that can improve your life quality and performance and well-being overall, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like tropical island holidays, visit fitcamp5.com for my 2-time TripAdvisor award-winning training camp, where we train fitness and action sports together while learning to live a healthy lifestyle and, maybe most importantly, have fun at the same time. And if you're really serious about improving yourself, you should definitely check out my full online courses, where I share step-by-step programs on how I developed my own routines over the last 12 years as a CEO, working in 4 different countries, while being a successful competitive athlete with more than 20 years of experience in fitness and nutrition. Check the link in the description for that. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, be awesome, believe in yourself, and see you on the next one.